I think we start taking life seriously the moment we understand there is no such thing as neutral action. Every single step takes you somewhere. Forward or backward, higher or lower, closer to the dream or deeper into the nightmare. Truly, no decision is weightless. You're either growing or dying. This game cannot be paused. Every second of every day you are casting a vote. A vote for the hard or for the easy. The good or the bad. A vote for who you want to be or who you said you've never become. And the scariest part is most people don't even know what they're voting. They just drift, react, scroll, numb themselves to the fact that they clock in, that the clock is still ticking. But it is, and every tick is a chance to choose better. So choose like your future depends on it, because it does. There's no neutral action. You sent that to me the other day.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you?
I think, look, I like to give you like little breadcrumbs during the week as like motivation, because I think that in the space that we're in, it is easy to get caught in thinking like in wondering which way is your signal facing. And you got to find that signal and then don't fucking stop.
What do you mean by, so would you say by that people were confused or?
No, I think most people are confused.
Yeah.
I without getting like too into it straight away, but you got guys like Steve Jobs who knew what their calling was and who knew exactly what it was they were trying to do, and they have very strong signals and they always move towards that. They know where their true north is. And I mean, you've seen some excellent success in your YouTube growth recently. And I was like, dude, put more energy into that.
Yeah.
You got to take it when you get a tailwind with something, you fucking put that mast up and you ride it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm definitely going to spend more time on that. 100%. That's the main focus.
Only time will tell,
100%, mate. I've suggested to myself that the biggest thing that will make me the most happy is the YouTube.
Yeah.
Out of everything I'm doing.
Yeah, well, as I said the other day, dude, your YouTube expresses you. You know what I mean? Short form's like a trailer. It's like, I noticed your content started to change a little bit. It's like, there's little trailers for like the bigger stuff, like stay in tune for this, it's coming. But all of that is, I think YouTube, the reality is with a character like yours, you can express your signal very strongly via long form, and you need to crack into it.
What have you learned from people like Steve Jobs?
Signal theory. Really, it's like there's going to be so much noise, right? A lot of people get stuck in neutral action. They're just treading water. For me, it's more about find my signal and then pursue that relentlessly. You and I spoke last time about seasons. I think that seasons play a role, but with people like Steve Jobs, with the most successful people, those seasons are much longer.
Steve Jobs said, remembering that you're going to die is the best way to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. You're already naked. There is no reason not to follow your heart.
100%. The first time I properly like understood that. Have you seen Fight Club?
Yes.
Cracking film. But that's basically the realization that you have nothing to lose and you can start living whenever you want, and it's entirely on your terms. You know what I mean? Do you leave your real estate job and pursue social media? Or, in my case, do you leave making money for other people to make money for yourself? If you know you got the skills, then do it. Back yourself in.
How did you come to that realization?
I think it's always there. It's more, you got to have the confidence to step into it. Back yourself in. There's everyone has a business idea. Everyone has this view that they could. And I always say that could is the thief of can. If you could, then do it.
How did you form that view?
I think it was the fact that every time I applied myself to something, right? And I think you and I have a lot of similarities in the types of things that we've explored over life or experienced, in that if you can't apply yourself to something, you're not interested in it. And vice versa. If you're not interested in it, you're not going to apply yourself. And it was every time I found something that I was interested in, I was able to deeply apply myself. And I could see that the cut through of applying myself to something that I was interested in was like a hot knife through butter. And that's satisfaction.
Yeah, I feel that as well. But at the same time, I don't think I was ever really naturally smart.
I don't think you need to be naturally smart.
Yeah.
The old saying, talent.
Yeah.
The one.
Yeah. Talent beats something.
Hard work beats talent when
yeah.
talent fails to work hard.
Yeah.
And I think that, dude, there's just so many countless examples of that.
Yeah. Is there one that stands out for you?
In my life?
Yeah. I thought so. When you say there's so many examples, is that in relation
Just
to other
everywhere.
people?
I mean, the other day you were at that mind mastery piece, and I saw a guy, he posted afterwards, and it was, don't work smarter. No, don't work smarter, not harder. Forget that. Work smarter and harder. And I thought that was interesting because that applies to people that are able to work smart and hard, but everyone can work hard.
Do you think you could work harder in the space you're in right now?
I think you can always go harder, but knowing how my seasons go, and then just even you just look at, the forecast of the year in retail is a very big dip all through winter. Everyone's in Europe or gallivanting around, and then summer comes turbo. You got to keep a little bit in your back pocket to make sure that you can coast through that.
You looked at me the other day and said, I look stressed.
Yeah.
What did you say to me?
I mean, other than the pink eye.
Yeah.
Stress to me it's erratic. It's missing things. And that's why I always refer to, understanding your capacity, right? Like, I think that the reality is for guys like you and I that are in this space, we do have a very massive capacity for pain and for endurance, right? You can just keep on going. But there is a tipping point to that. And I found it quite a number of times. And generally it comes at the cost to my health, which is, for me, it's a skin issue. For you, maybe it's pink eye. Everyone's a little bit different.
I think there was something in there. There was.
Well, that's the thing. Like, now it looks all right to me, so placebo is a beautiful thing, but you just never know, I think that's the beauty of the space that we're in now, wellness. It's like, how do you gauge these intangible things? What does stress look like? What does it feel like to you? Is there seasons to it?
What does it feel like to you?
Stress. It's an interesting one because my stress, I think I have a great my business partner will always say, you love the pummeling. Like, it's the sensation of pummeling. Like, you're just going through it like there's another thing. And I think that the reality is, and I've heard so many people talk about this, shout out Founders Podcast, but the greatest people will learn to love the pummeling and they learn to love the pain, because building a great business or a great personal brand, it's find something that's broken and fix it over and over and over and over and over again until you're like, I'm happy with what I've built here.
Your potential should fucking terrify you. Not because it's out of reach, but because it's there for the taking. You've seen glimpses. In the rare moments you actually go all in, and deep down, you know what would happen if you stopped playing small and gave it everything. That's the scary part. Not failure, but the fact you are capable of so much more. It's like owning a Ferrari and refusing to take it out of first gear. And every day you don't act on it, you feel it quietly, heavily. Like a life you were supposed to live is waiting for you to show up. So show the fuck up.
Banger. Did I send that to you?
No. I went on that page and dug it up.
It does sound like something that I would send you. Look, I think that the reality is, there's a spectrum to things. You know what I mean? I reckon you're better off starting as a Toyota, getting yourself on the road, and then seeing what happens. Again, things will break. You'll have to fix things and slowly build into that Ferrari. But, when you get that Ferrari, you're still going to be in first gear the first time you get it.
It's so true. It's like the amount of people that reach out, probably you as well, with an idea.
Yeah.
It's like, just go and do it.
Dude, I'm massive on that. Like, as I said, as openness, everyone has an idea, or everyone says I could. Well, if you could, you can. So just start. And they're like, oh, but, and then they hit you with the but. And as soon as you hear the but, you're getting an ego response, and it's no longer rational. It's some justification for why they haven't started. And it's a lot of people, I just think that they would benefit by starting. Start and see how fucking hard it is. And if you've got a strong why, you're going to keep going.
Does that first line resonate with you at all? Your potential should fucking terrify you. And what do you think about when you think about that? And do you think, like, what do you think and what are you actually striving for? That's something I don't think I've asked before.
That's a great question. What are you striving for?
Why do you think, because you spoke about purpose before, what do you think it is that's keeping you going?
I know my why, and in a sense, I think everyone's why is their fuel to keep going when it does get hard. My why loops back to the statement that you probably hear me say every day, which is, if you're not the lead dog, you spend the rest of your life looking at another dog's ass. And I think that what I'm striving for is to make sure that continuously in the spaces that I am in, that I am the lead dog, and that I'm not staring at another dog's ass, and that anyone behind me doesn't have to put up with the same shit that I put up with when I was behind somebody else. And it's, you see a startup and you help them. You see someone building a brand and you pat them on the back. You see one of your mates going out on their own on social media and you comment on every fucking post. You know what I mean? It's about being a good leader. So yeah, I would say that my piece is I got to sit at the front, but I'm going to make sure anyone that is behind us is getting brought along for the ride.
I've got a quote here about a friend. I forgot where it was. There's a quote about a friend, and it was about something that, yeah, my two simple lenses of friendship. Do they genuinely root for you when you win, and do they make you better? Finding people who do one is finding people who even do one is rare, but both rarer, which is why you get the highest title of friend. And I think I heard something along the lines of when you do something like that, or when you go out, you actually realize how little friends you have.
Yeah. I mean, I experienced it firsthand when we started Healr. Like, you know, Ben and I started this completely bootstrapped. You know, we had one angel investor. He bought a minority share. Ended up being, to be honest, one of the best investments that he could have seen within the last 12 months. We'll get on that later. But when we started, it was the people that you thought would have your back, the people that you thought would be your first customer just because you've done it. They're not. You know, family, close friends, and it does thin the herd. So, I mean, look, if you're kind of a bit of a psycho, you could easily figure out how true your friends are. Start a fucking business. Start something with your name on it. See who has your back. And you're going to see as you go through these seasons, these growth phases, this continuous push to your signal, who drops off and who's still there.
I've definitely seen that. It's sort of confronting in a way, because there's a part of me that thinks, like, my mum is always just like, oh, have you seen this person recently? Or have you seen that person recently? And it sort of makes me, in a way, and it doesn't make me feel bad, but there's a part of me that thinks, should I be making time for those people? And then when I'm in that environment, it's like you're touching on things that are just like you don't.
Yeah, they're not in alignment.
Yeah, correct.
I think probably the best dude for talking about this type of shit, and he's obviously at one extreme, is Hormozy. Hormozy talks about your circle as if it is you. And the reality is, like, you know, same, me and him have a lot of similarities. He loves business. I love business. I get along with people who support businesses and love businesses, who have businesses themselves. This actually flows into personal branding. But at the end of the day, the people that cast the biggest expectations on you are your parents from the time that you're little. They want you to become an accountant or a fucking lawyer. They want you playing trumpet. They want you playing this sport. They want you doing that because they're trying to get a feel for the world. But at some point in time, you got to go, I don't give a fuck what your expectations are. I'm gonna do what aligns with me. And that comes back to the signal as well. What's your signal? Yours is be the biggest steak creator in the world. I think very soon you're probably already in the Australian, in my view. It's just a matter of time. But, you know, if you said that to your mum 3 years ago, she would laugh in your face. So you got to crush these external noises and remain on signal.
Yeah. Is that hard to do, do you think, for not for you, but for others?
I think everyone fucking struggles with it. Otherwise, we would have way more entrepreneurs. But it's good to see people backing themselves to start businesses and people starting personal brands. But I think that people sometimes get sucked into spaces, you know, whether it's entrepreneurship or personal branding, for the wrong reasons. And they're getting sucked in for the what. You know, it can give you, I know Chris Williamson talks about this all the time. The fruits of the labor are great, but the sacrifice is also great. You're going to have to endure some serious pummeling before you get to taste that fruit.
People wish for other people's lives, but not for their sacrifices. We wish for the prize, but not for the price.
That's literally exactly what I was just talking about.
Correct.
You want the prize, but you don't want to pay the price. And I think, look, to be honest, my entire life I've been able to go against the grain quite comfortably. At times I've been like, fuck, this is too much, you know?
What makes you say that?
I just look back at times where I was starting something that I knew was against the grain that was backing me, and I folded previously. And
Why'd you fold?
just the noise. The noise got too loud, But I think I've built that resilience now that it wouldn't matter who it was or what they were saying, that I would know that the reason I'm doing what I'm doing with Healer, that how passionately I feel about it, how it encompasses and I see it everywhere, that I can't be stopped.
It's an extension of you, like I said last time. I think that's calling for
It is.
tapping
H2.
in. Talk
So
to me about it.
I'll talk to you about it as if you've never heard about it.
Yeah,
But
well, honestly, man, I have people ask me
yeah.
like what it is because they know I live with you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you gotta.
You got to experience it. Look,
Yeah.
so this tablet does not contain hydrogen. It creates hydrogen. So as soon as it hits the water, begins effervescing. The reaction creates a cloud of hydrogen, and hydrogen is a gas. It's not a liquid. It's not a supplement. It's a gas. And you look, there's 1,500 clinical studies on it. There's close to 20 with our exact tablet. Has benefits to every organ in the human body. Metabolic health. We've seen applications in Alzheimer's, cancer models, all types of things. But I take it because it's fucking delicious and it helps you lock in. And then we brought in this. We were the first brand in the world to sell both of them together, which is the methylene methylene blue combo. Basically, the H2 acts as an electron donor to the blue.
Give me 10.
10 jobs. You want to go to the moon?
No.
Acts as an electron donor and then reduces it so your body doesn't have to waste any antioxidant resources.
That's enough.
Um,
I don't drink coffee, mate.
But yeah, this is a very powerful combination. Basically, the blue improves the way your body uses oxygen. H2 is, in a sense, the perfect antioxidant. It's not really an antioxidant, but does act as one. Meaning it just goes through your body and scavenges the bullshit. It's that monthly cleaner that just comes in and takes care of the kitchen, the bathroom, and you come home and you're like, wow, the state of this house is fucking beautiful.
You talked about it last time, but what inspired you to actually start this? And
Big question.
Yeah.
I don't want to go too much down the rabbit hole, but basically post-COVID, let's just say post-COVID, my health was fucked. I'd always had a background in kind of bodybuilding and I was interested in longevity, but COVID and the things that were associated with that took a toll on my health. And I felt like what it was like to have everything taken away. And during that time, I went full carnivore. I had to heal my gut lining. I learned that reducing the types of things your gut is exposed to, including the carnivore diet, can reduce the biodiversity in your gut, including production of hydrogen gas. And so I started learning, experimenting about the only clinically proven way of getting hydrogen into the gut externally without, a high fiber diet or something like that. Obviously, carnivore is very low fiber. And we came across H2 and no one else was doing it. We were the first tablet brand in Australia and New Zealand. Really the first ones to kind of properly blow up on the internet well and truly before the Brecker bandwagon. But credit to him, he's made a lot of noise, and now we got people like Joe Rogan drinking this, got Dana White drinking it. Across Australia, you got some of the best entrepreneurs and longevity people drinking it, and we're everywhere. We're at Nutrition Warehouse, Elite Sups, every health food store, some of the most best anti-aging locations, St. Haven. At the end of the day, look, this potty's not a billboard for me, but I'm proud of what we've built, and the reason I am is I know this product's clinically proven. I believe in it. I take it every fucking day, and I recommend it be a staple in everyone's diet.
You said something interesting to me a few weeks ago, but you said that when you were building it, it was like too much. Like you were, like you saw what, I think you said something like you saw what it was like to go
Too hard.
Too hard, yeah.
Yeah, I think that the pace, as I said, I love the pummel. I love to get in and do the reps. But things can only move at a set speed. There's an Arabic word, sabr. It means patience. And I think that people, entrepreneurs especially, get confused between loving the pummeling and pushing hard and then knowing when the timing's right. It's kind of like in golf, you know, like you can swing as hard as you want. The ball's not going to go as far as somebody who swings sweet. You hit it in the sweet spot, you time your stroke, it goes a lot further than if you just walk around hacking the ball around the golf course. And to me, that first 12, 18 months was learning to not hack the ball around the course. It was learning to hit the sweet spot. And now I think with my timing and knowing how you don't always have to have that feeling of pushing shit uphill. You can learn how to sweet spot things.
If you look at my past month and a half or 2 months, what do you? How would you describe that with what you've just said? How would you describe what I've done? In the past
I would say same as anyone's first month in the game. You know, like pure month in the game. A lot of chipping uphill. You know, a lot of hacking, but it's the hacking, it's the chopping around in the long grass that you're gonna find out what it feels like when you hit that sweet spot. And the intelligence specimen will go, fuck, that was a sweet spot, i.e. your recent YouTube vid that just caught fire.
I did 15K views this morning.
Yeah, you hit the sweet spot, right? Yeah. So what do? You go, okay, that fucking worked. That was easy. That felt good. That was me being me. That's alignment. You tee up another ball with the tee and you smack it. It's another nice YouTube video. Hit the sweet spot again. You start doubling down. You got to find these things that are multipliers.
Back to being stressed though, like have you seen a change in me?
Well,
I want you to be honest. I want you to be honest.
You did have pink eye 4 days ago.
Not for the pink eye. Just like in relation to like how
I would say, yeah, like, you know, you left your keys in the front door the other night.
That was, I remember, I was carrying fucking heaps of shit.
Your car battery died the other night from leaving the lights on.
Yeah.
You know, as I said, it's the little things. The brain, I mean, look, I had this doctor explain it to me once. He goes, cheers, by the way. You got to think of capacity in entrepreneurship, in relationships, and whatever the fuck you want. Everyone has a capacity. Think of it as a cup of water. You overfill it, things start to spill over the edge. Is it forgetting that I left my keys in the door? Is it forgetting I have my car lights on? The thing is, when you're steering a vessel that's now the size of Healer, there's no room to leave the keys in the front door or to leave the lights on because you will get fucked. You know, it's not a little dinghy, you know, you flip out, you just jump back in the side. Now the boat's quite large. This is why I keep talking about the sweet spot. You got to find the tides to kind of roll with instead of driving against the grain, you know? That's why I've been saying to you, YouTube, double down on it. Your character's invaluable. It can't be replicated. No one can fucking edit this. This is who you are. There is nobody else like you. Hit it.
I'm definitely doing it.
I can hear that, but I haven't seen 2 vids a week yet. So
it's so hard to actually, I'm still in so this week, this is the double.
God willing.
But it's the whole thing with YouTube is it's not just going out and doing a video. I think the whole reason why that video went well was the packaging. Like I thought about the thumbnail and I thought about the title and everything before I actually did it. So now I plan out my weeks. So I'm like, I'm going to do this video on this day and I'm going to formulate. And that's why my videos end up going well. Some of them is because I've actually formulated how
that's what I'm saying.
Look. Yeah. But I will be doing.
You're thinking about the stroke before you're taking it.
Yeah.
And this
Which
is what
smart.
It is smart.
Yeah.
You know, and this loops back to this first piece.
Yeah.
You know, you said I was never an intellectual. Well, these are intellectual things. You are working smarter and everyone knows you can work hard. So put it in, off you go.
I don't think I'm burning the candle though. I don't know. You might think otherwise.
When you stop leaving your keys in the front door and then having to jumpstart your car, then we'll know. You know,
I don't know about the car was just.
There's no such thing as random. That's you overdoing it. Like that's signature overdoing it. And I tell you what, as we said at the start, whenever someone hits you with a butt and someone said, "Be honest with me" or "Give me some feedback," it's always the ego self protecting the reason why that happened, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Because you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. And coming into this entrepreneur game, dude, I've sat down with people for coffees. I've told them all the things that they need to hear, and it's, are you going to hear these things and go away and do it? If not, that's entirely up to you. But the next time you call me, don't ask for advice. Would
you say that for me is the YouTube thing then?
Well, if you're saying you're doing 2 vids next week, boom, we're on. And then when you're dancing around the house that your vids are getting, you know, the views are stacking and people have a pile of great stuff to land on and you're starting to move through these elements when looking at the good stroke.
Yeah.
Dude, you're just spending time at the driving range. It's bread and butter.
I think you said to go to, I think I really like the potty though. So I'm going to try and stick to one a week and get
At
everything.
the end of the
outsourced.
day, it's your life route.
It's just you can't beat the relationships, like, I just don't, because that is almost like a part of because I had someone booked in on my birthday and she was like, wouldn't you rather be doing something else on your birthday? And I was like, it's not like I have a social life anyway.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
if you love it, then keep going with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
But-
it's like it is sort of become part of the social life.
I mean, we spoke about it. If I was you, well, like, let's not make this, a masterclass. And I don't have a YouTube channel, but I can, like, the way I view things is like a product.
Yeah.
Someone's personal brand is very much a product,
Yeah.
right? I would just go, where am I having the most success from my portfolio? And it's definitely your YouTube. So put your time and put your money into that one product.
Yeah.
You're better off having one at 100% than a whole range of products doing 10%.
Yeah. Well, I found that the biggest YouTube creators, once that is good, once their YouTube's good, then everything just sort of falls into place.
Yeah. It's the same with it's the same with our brand. H2 fucking shreds it. It makes room for blue to come in. It makes room for other flavors to come in. You got to pick one and spank it home.
Enzo Ferrari said, I've yet to meet anyone quite so stubborn as myself and animated by this overpowering obsession that leaves me with no time or thought for anything else. I have, in fact, no interest in life outside of racing cars.
Dude, as I said during the week, I love Enzo Ferrari.
Why?
We won't get into the real reason why, but exactly that. Just that obsession that I will not be out mastered with something that I am obsessed with. And that's exact same that happened with hydrogen. We came in here. Were we challenged? Yes. Did we come out on top? Yes. Will it happen again? Yes. And, there's a funny saying. It's like imitation is the highest form of flattery. There's a lot of brands ripping our shit off now. I said last time, imitation isn't the highest form of flattery to me. It just fucking annoys me because entrepreneurship should not be about looking around and going, how can I make a quick buck? Or how can I copy what someone else is doing? It should be, I'm building something that is entirely unique to my vision. And when I see other entrepreneurs jumping on the internet and copying our shit, it drives me insane because it's like, you're in this for the wrong reason. And that's the core value there. I don't care that they're stealing our shit. Go for it. But you're doing yourself a disservice because you're not finding out what you could do if you stacked your chips in alignment with what is in alignment with you. The shit that you're copying, that's me. That's us. That's Heal. That's not you.
Do you see people, and that's probably why, like, a lot of people ask me advice about what I do. And they ask me advice for just about, lots of things. And I'm like, you've got to have a bigger why. Would you see that as what you just said there? Is that, I'm trying to think of a way to reframe the question, but a lot of people that I know, they need to understand the why to actually understand what it is that have, basically where it's got to is a result of that why, if that makes sense.
100%. 100%. As I said, I like to help entrepreneurs and I'll always buy, if I see a product and I'm like, this is fucking awesome. Like yesterday, shout out them Prime Seasonings. They got organ-based seasonings. They're just started. There's no nasties. It's got animal organs in there. I haven't tasted it yet. I'm sure it's going to be fucking beautiful. You can see a good product. And I just DM'd him. I said, love your product, guys. And I bought some straight away. Because you can tell when you see something that's that quality that their why is solid. Then you look at the founder. Let's just talk about this brand for a second. I always love to find the founder of brands because you can kind of see, did it get diluted? They copy somebody. Is this a drop shipper? Is it soulless? Brand's got soul. It's a nutritionist. She's a mother. These are her recipes. This is what she eats herself. You can't replicate that. You can't drop ship that, and that is a strong why. So I think when someone comes to me for advice, it's always, don't come and ask me what the next product is. Don't listen to your mate sitting next to you that this product's the next thing. It's, why am I doing this? Because if your why is not strong enough, it won't matter about the what because it's going to get tough. The pummeling gets hard. And if your why is not good, you're going to crumble.
Your great-grandchildren probably won't know your last name, look like you, or even know your name. And if you dedicate your entire life to helping them, you might as well just help other people now and enjoy the benefits now. Better to live your legacy than to leave one.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I had an interesting conversation with a mate the other day. He's a big guy in crypto, loves crypto. He's been in crypto for years. Whenever the market's down, he's fucking a bit depressed. When it's up, he's up. Right now he's in Athens, travels all over the world, just a very switched on operator. And he said something to me. He goes, "I've changed my mind on children. I want to have 5 or 6." Before that, he was, "I don't want to have any." And I thought that's interesting. Like that's one way of thinking about helping people now is I'm going to start my own family. But the way I view business is that these startups, these other personal brands, these people moving in alignment, refusing to fold. Shout out Chris Griffin, perfect example of someone refusing to get bent over by marginal views. I spoke about prime seasoning 2 minutes ago. Again, prime train during the week, same thing. People will try to fold you even when you're at the top of your game and when you're in alignment. If your why is not rock solid, you'll get bent over.
Have you got an example of that? You spoke about challenges and everything. Have you got an example of that in relation to you?
Yeah, look, the easy one when it comes to supplements and the wellness game, if you like, is authentic products. Products that are what they say they are and that have tangible benefits, especially in the hydrogen space. Actually, in Japan, which is where the hydrogen game originated, I forgot to tell you, but I'm heading to Japan for my birthday in November. You're welcome to come, by the way. Cook some Wagyu up.
So if YouTube's monetized.
But I'm heading to Japan because there's a hydrogen convention, and early in the game with hydrogen in Japan, basically what happened was they pulled in all these hydrogen products because the claims were getting so crazy. Hydrogen itself has many benefits, and they found that none of the products, 95% of the products contained no hydrogen, right? And that's why when I launched this product, I needed something that was clinically backed, something that was tested, and something that I could take and believe in myself. Very early in the game for us, there was another brand. They sell a bullshit hydrogen product, right? First things first, hydrogen very hard to contain. It's a gas. Think about it. How could you possibly store that in a can or in a bottle? So early on, we had a dispute with a competitor. For lack of a better word, they're a competitor, but revenue-wise, brand size, they're a speck on the arse now. But early days, they tried to bully us in the space. They got their lawyers sending us cease and desists, rah. And all we were doing was talking the truth. And when we went and got their product tested, complete bullshit, no hydrogen. Sent it to them, and they came back with the but. Again, if you're going to put something out into the market, you better be able to fucking stand on it because the going's going to get tough. And if you haven't built something that's authentic, keep it moving. You're in the game for the wrong reasons.
Was that period still? Was there an element of discomfort there?
Man, I didn't sleep because I was thinking about how do I put an end to these clowns.
Yeah.
There's nothing, as I said, there's nothing I hate more than people ripping off your brand or people selling shit that doesn't work. Like the entire industry is full of bogus products that are genuine horse shit, and they're built by people that know they're horse shit and don't care. They're there to make some money off people. I think that's sickening.
I said to you last time that you're pretty good at harnessing, because there's so much going on with your business, and perhaps after this you could give me some insight. This is something we don't really speak about despite living with each other. There's so much going on, but you seem really good at like harnessing it all. And I think perhaps that's just because you've been in the game longer than I have. But I wouldn't know that. You were sitting on the bench the other day and you were like, I've just sent out this invoice. I don't know if you remember saying that, but it was for some money. And I'm just sitting there like, how the hell is this is just, it just sounded like it was normal for you,
Honestly, I can't remember what the exact scenario was. But
I won't say it, but it was, you just sent out a big invoice.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and then you walk down and you just eating lunch.
Yeah.
It's like there's almost like two different worlds.
Yeah. It's an interesting one because I think, again, and this is the beauty of it, when your why is so strong and you're like, I'm not doing this for a number on an invoice, or I'm not doing this for a number on my P&L, or I'm not like, don't get me wrong. It's nice to see that. It pads the ego. It's like, yeah, I'm heading in the right direction. You know, you can get more noise to propel your creation. When your why is strong, noise like that just doesn't matter, you know? So for me, it's always about the why. But you would see a different animal to me if I started to question, am I doing it? What is my why right? Is are the things that I'm creating? And I just know that it's so sound that nothing else bothers me.
Is that like a side like a Mike Tyson? You know, have you heard Mike Tyson talk about his side when he was boxing?
Yeah. And I think that the game that at least, I mean, look, I think social media creation and brand creation are very similar. Like one's a personal brand, one's a product-led brand. But ultimately to do that, you have to create, it depends. There's two ways of going about it. I think the reason your YouTube's killing it is because you are yourself. People are getting a glimpse to it. But like when you do your voiceovers and stuff, you know how I'm always like, now I'll cook a Wagyu steak, because you put that persona on.
Yeah.
And I think that the reality is that anyone in this game would be lying to you if they said that to perform in the brand space or the personal brand space, you have to develop this persona. You know, Tyson's was an absolute dog. As soon as he came out the gates, he would stare at them without blinking. And as soon as they broke eye contact, he knew he was going to win the fight. You know, and it's the same with this game. Stare them in the fucking eyes until they blink and you know you've won. And I think that it goes the same for personal content. Is it YouTube? Is it whatever? With us, is it more products, more doors, more households?
Hormozy did a quote, or his most viral quote was something along the lines of, the greatest gift a human can have is the ability to be in a good mood with nothing in, you know, whilst acknowledging the fact there's nothing to be in a good mood about.
Yeah. Oh, bang on. And Brad Jacobs, are you familiar with him?
No.
Did a founder's potty. He's an absolute weapon. He's had multiple, I think he's had 5 businesses sell now for over 10 billion. Yeah. Like big money. And he was the first guy to do trash properly in America. Like, think about that. You're the guy that starts routing and getting trash collected properly in America, which we know is just a trash haven. Done something right, you know? And that was a big deal. But his whole thing was, think about what business is. Think about what personal brand creation is. It is literally find shit that's broken and fix it. And if you are in an unhappy mood doing that, you're going to be in agony. You're going to fold. So it comes down to framing. And I noticed like Hormozy and Chris and all those boys, they started doing a lot of talk around framing. How am I framing this to myself? Because that's really what matters. And I think that in those first 18 months when I felt like I was overdoing it, I was framing things negatively. Like, fuck, this is broken, or, oh God, that person, or like when things don't go your way, just, you know, you almost develop this kind of like sense of positive, I don't want to say optimism. I feel like it's not really that. It's just, you know your signal and you're just going to keep going. And when something breaks, expect it because it's going to happen. And the more things that you find that are broken, the better, because it means there's growth. And I always say in business, it's a little different. Like, there's social media and there's like product-led brands. When you have a product-led brand and you run money through it, you find the things that are broken. When you have a social media brand and you run views or followers through it, you find what's broken, right? So there's 2 types of currency here, if you like.
I think I heard Mel Robbins, I don't know if you know her, talk about, I think what you said before, it's like you're working towards something that hasn't happened yet, but you are so confident that it will happen so that it makes it easy to keep going.
Yeah. Again, it's a why.
Yeah.
You know, if your why is sound, it doesn't matter about the what. So I'm doing this because I know X, which creates Y.
It's an interesting one. The why and everything. I mean, I'm trying to think about what my North Star is, and the fact that I question as though is like, what am I actually working towards, and will there ever be a time that I'll be content?
I think, again, it's framing, man. Like it's It's how am I going to frame this to myself? What does what does content look like? You know, the irony is you're in the content game, but will you ever be content with that? You know, and I think that the reality is it is a hamster wheel, and the game keeps moving. Whether you know you're in it or you're out, it someone's always going to be making videos about steak. Do you want it to be yours? I thought that there was something interesting the other day. We were outside and I was chucked on those fucking whopping briskets. You know, I've been abusing the smoker. Thank you. Shout out Zed Grills. I heard you say, I'm no meat expert. And the funny thing is, when I first met you, I just assumed by your profile, by the game that you're in, that you were the meat expert. And you've said to me probably like 5 times this week, I need to learn more about this. I need to understand this cut better. And I think that because you're in a game that it's split between how does this look on the internet and how is it really, that you could benefit hugely by becoming the meat expert. Because that's the point of differentiation. It's no longer, this guy did this video, I saw it, fuck it, it caught traction. It's, I know this about this and I can use this to create this. And that will really help in the long form. You know what I mean? That's why with hydrogen, I became so obsessed. You know, as I said, going to hydrogen convention in November in Japan, it's purely academic. There's no financial benefit from it. But I know the brains that I'll be brushing up against are going to help me propel this beast. So I don't know. Maybe I know you're talking Max the meat guy yesterday. Flick him a message and say, how much do you know about meat?
He knows a lot.
He knows a fucking lot. And he's at the top of the food chain.
Yeah, it's something I will. I'm like, yeah. I watch his long form videos to try and take it all in. It's more, when I say expert, it's more like I don't know where it's from on the cow. You know, I probably should know what that is.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's the meat expert knows, you know what I mean? Knows what that piece of meat
I'm
smells
pretty good
like.
at doing, like, because you can apply what you learn from others. But yeah, I don't want to do a butt thing. And yeah, I acknowledge that. Like I got into this because I just like cooking steak.
Yeah. I mean, and then we stack it, but we go further than that. And I think the reason that you won't stop is because you found something that has unlimited potential and great reward for effort. And previously, this loops back to my why. I refuse to spend the rest of my life staring at another dog's ass. You're not staring at anyone's fucking ass, dude. You are the creator. You can do whatever you want with it. And you're just stepping into that freedom, that ability. And again, you've only been like fully in the game for a month and you're killing it. You are killing it, man.
Trying to.
Well, the fact that you're finding things that are working and you're going, I'm going harder on those things.
Yeah.
That right there, that's a multiplier. Yeah. And you have to find the multipliers in the brand game, in the personal brand game. It doesn't matter. You need the multipliers.
Do you think about your mortality often?
Mortality, as in the fact that I'll die. Yeah, look, I think I'm fully aware that this body's borrowed. You know, that there's an Arabic word that describes the state of living. It's dunya. The dunya is a test. It's an opportunity to find your why, align it with good things, and do that day in, day out. In the very first quote that you read, there was a piece about hard things. I think that in entrepreneurship, in brand creation, there is a huge element to hard things. And I think that the reality is mortality means you have to do the hard things.
Never underestimate the power of one decision, one phone call, one text message, one reckless moment of courage or hope. I don't think you know how close you are to changing everything. Make the choice, flick the switch. The path to greatness is on the other side of one very painful decision you've been pretending you don't need to make, but you do. Start the business, apply for the job, post a video, cold call the mentor, move continent, which is basically, I think he made a spelling error there. Go ask them out, stop letting life happen to you, start happening to life. That's what you just said there.
Just start, man. You know, I think that, again, like you've been in it for a month, you know, and these people that hit us up via DMs or that, you know, they shoot us a text, you know, you got people reaching out from high school saying, you know, oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's because they're searching for something too. And the reality is you're not going to be able to tell them their why. They need to go and find that, and they're going to find it by just starting.
Do you think people want things quickly?
They do.
Yeah.
You know, they want the prize without paying the price. And again, it just comes to having the wrong why. You know, fundamentally, if you If you're doing it for a strong why, it doesn't matter about how long it takes. You're just never going to stop.
See, I find it hard to accept the fact that what you said about going well and killing it, like it's hard when, you know, perhaps I am doing well in this small segment of time, but I compare or I tie the thought of me going well to a future version of myself that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
Yeah.
I tell you why you have to stop doing that is because comparison is the thief of joy, right? And I don't just mean comparing yourself to others. It also includes comparing yourself to future versions of yourself, right? Like I'm fully aware that Healer is not the beast that it will be in a year. I'm aware that it's not going to be the same beast in 5 years. If I think about the size of what I believe it can get to, I look now and I feel insufficient.
Why?
Because it's not there yet, right? But that feeling of insufficiency, again, looping back to what Hormozy says, when you're going through the reps, you have to remain in a good mood. Who the fuck is in a good mood when they feel insufficient? So you pitch it as, I'm loving this process. I'm finding things that are broken. I'm enjoying fixing them. And I know that my signal is strong and the direction that I'm heading in is the direction I want to be heading in. You got to wake up grateful every day.
Hormozy also said, if you're willing to embrace discomfort in the short term for prosperity in the long term, then nothing will be able to stop you.
Exact same thing. Just keep putting the fucking reps in and don't get disillusioned. People, and this is, you know, we go back a little bit to talking about people wanting things now. It's the same over the duration of the year. Everyone seems to be in a great fucking mood from December till March. They've got Christmas. They've got New Year's. They've got all the festivals. The sun's out. They're in a great mood for a quarter of the year. Just think about how ridiculous that is. You're spending 25% of your year satisfied. And then in winter, you might run up a little bit more money to maybe go to Bali or Europe and maybe get another 8 weeks. All right, sweet. You're happy for 30% of the year. What a miserable fucking life. Stretch the timeline. Look back over the last, I had one of my mentors ask me this recently. He goes, I want you to think back 5 years. I want you to think back 10 years. I want you to think back 15 years and tell me what percentage of those years do you think you were happy? What percentage of those years do you think you're in a good mood? And the unfortunate answer that I had to look at was, I think I was in a bad mood for a large portion of that. It was at that point in time that I said to myself, reframe this. If I'm going to be happy for the next 5 years, the next 10 years, the next 15 years, and I'm only happy when the sun's up for 30% of the year, I'm only happy when I'm in Bali or in Europe or when things are going my way, you're going to be miserable for the next 30% of the rest of your life. That's a fucking that's a lot of time. So when you break it down like that and you go, I'm not comparing myself because I don't want that feeling of insufficiency. I want the feeling of happiness over long periods of time, long seasons of time. We're talking about 5, 10, 15 years. The price that you pay is reframing. It's stop being a victim to this mindset that if this happens, I can feel this way. It's even when all of this is happening, I feel this way. And you just keep going.
It's funny when you speak about looking back on things as well, how much of it can you even remember? You know,
Man, the thing with me, I'm a psycho when it comes to remembering circumstances, faces, names, like things that like imprint themselves on who I think I am. I remember it, you know?
what I meant by that is like Hormozy and Chris spoke about it when they were like, you would never thought that anyone in the 90s would be living in the good old days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which is crazy.
Remember saying that? Remember them saying that?
Yeah. I know what you mean. And it's like, yeah, it's like why I think that the reality is it's like why feel sad now or like why feel insufficient or why feel not myself because of X condition when in a year's time you're not going to remember that. But in the time you were feeling fucking garbage about it. You know, so it is literally just framing.
What I meant by looking back on it is like the individual moments of those 15 years perhaps when you look back on those 15 years, there's an accumulation or a feeling, but like specific individual moments that add up, small, minute things and decisions, perhaps you didn't remember. I'm not sure. You said you're a psycho, so maybe you do.
Like, I remember, as I said, I do remember specific names, faces, situations and stuff like very clearly. Like it plays back like a movie for me, you know? And I think that's how I got this kind of creative brand builder instincts from. But yeah, I think that again, it just loops back to the fact that if you have this constant feeling of insufficiency or whatever it is, it's look at longer time horizons and then ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? And the feeling is now, like, you know, even the start of this podcast, all that's gone. It was done. Let it rip. So yeah, I mean, that's my view.
We give up our 20s for our 30s, our 30s for our 40s. When I listened to this pod this morning, our 40s for our 50s, and we trade everything we'd achieved in our 30s, 40s and 50s to get back to our 20s.
Yeah.
Do you think about that stuff? I mean, I sort of asked the question before. I mean, that's not really a mortality question, but there seems to be that, you know, I sometimes wonder and question myself as to what I'm doing now, with the acknowledgement of the fact that probably one day in the future I will say that it was perhaps an error. And I say that because, you know, like what I've done to get to this point is like, you know, a lot of sacrifice.
See, my view is probably like the opposite of that now. I look back, like let's just do a look back thing again. You know, you look back at what you're doing 5 years ago and you're like, man, I knew nothing. And I think, you know, even if you look at yourself today and you say, look, oh, dude, this is the perfect time to drop that quote. It's like the world is built by people who have no idea what they're doing. The reality is that you know very little. Not you, us, anybody. There's a lot of guessing. There's people in very high places that are worth a lot of money that guessed their way there. Did they get lucky? No, I just don't think that they stopped. And I think it comes back to the fact that you need to keep doing that continuously because the world is built by people that know nothing. So when you have that mindset that the world is built by people that know nothing, how could you possibly look back at yourself and go, or like look at future self and go, oh man, like the reality is everyone's in that same boat.
You spoke about the level of insufficiency before.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a common trait amongst people that want to actually change the world?
A feeling of insufficiency.
Yeah, because I've been made to feel, whether, not obviously not intentionally, but like there are things that happen in my life that have made me feel less than, for example, that have forced me to just go into another mode. So which you speak about why. I mean, it makes it easy to keep going.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I kind of see it like fuel, you know, but so how would you frame that question?
It's a good one. So we were speaking about insufficiency.
You said, do you think the world is built by people that suffer with insufficiency?
It's more like, do you feel like the people that build the world or want to change things have an underlying factor or something that's happened in their life that have caused them to do what they do? Because Alex Hormozi's was his dad.
Yeah.
Questioning him.
Like most dudes, just most people in general, their fuel kind of, I always hate when people talk about mother trauma or daddy problems, right? Because everyone has them. There is no perfect parenting. It's entirely, we could do a full podcast on trauma. But to say that I am now where I am because I was never going to be good enough in my dad's eyes is ridiculous. I think that, yes, that may have been the igniting force for you to start to step into your rhythm, for you to start to step into, I don't care about what he wanted. I'm not going to be an accountant. I'm not going to be a lawyer. I'm going to do what it is that is in alignment with me. I think the world is built by people that do that. And I don't know why Hormozi tells that story, to be honest with you, because I don't think it's accurate. I think, yeah, it's an interesting one because I think that he defies that. You know, I think that the world is built by people who decided to stop letting other people's expectations run their life. They spend such a small portion thinking about you, why you care about what they think. And if it does bother you that much, that even if you did change it, guess what? They're still going to be putting these dispersions. They're still going to be creating this noise. You know, there's a saying, if you never want to be anything, say nothing, do nothing, be nothing. And it's true.
Do you think people are scared of that?
I think people are fucking terrified of it, especially in Australia. Look, I will be honest. I think Australians inherently, recently especially, have become, I don't know whether it was COVID or whatever, there's a lot of tall poppy syndrome here. There's a lot of people that will say one thing to your face and say something behind your back. There's a lot of people, as we said at the start of the potty, that are not real supporters. And it's an unfortunate thing, but I think that for people like you and me that are living here, there's a lot of things that are great about Australia. Don't get me wrong. We're very lucky. However, there is a lot of tall poppy syndrome, and there is a lot of people that will try to, you know, cut you at your knees because they're choosing not to do it. I wake up every morning. Our page, we only have like, I mean, we're a brand, but we got like 20, maybe 25,000 followers. I actually couldn't even tell you. It doesn't matter to me.
21.6 or 20 something. I saw it yesterday.
21K, right? I wake up every morning and there will be one person commenting something awesome, supporting the brand. And there will be 5 people calling me fat, me ugly, me old, telling us our product doesn't work. And then you look at it and you're like, what kind of sicko does that? Who jumps on the internet and writes that about a complete stranger who's doing something that's beneficial to people's lives?
It's hard for them to see. I think perhaps it's like almost reminding them when they see someone or potentially something that's going well, it reminds them that they didn't. What's the quote about when you see someone, I forgot, Alex Hormozy said it, but it's like when you see someone doing something, it reminds you that you didn't try.
Yeah. No, and I think that's just a trauma piece. You know, it's like, oh, well, and then it's always, there's always there's always this very specific archetype. Like sometimes I'll tap their profile. If it's a real demonic comment, I'll be like, who said this?
Yeah.
It's the same looking person. In my case, the person calling me fat, calling me ugly, calling the business and the product garbage, it's some fat ass. It's some dude who has his businesses tagged in his thing and they got 15 followers and he stopped posting after five goes. It's somebody that never kept going. And I look at that and they think that they're bringing me down. They're doing the opposite. Don't get me wrong. I'll block them because I don't want that negativity creeping into our community. But I look at it and I just go, fuel me. Keep doubting. Because one day, guess what? You're going to come home. You're going to go to your mum's house and there's going to be a pack of H2 sitting on the bench. She's going to be drinking our product. And it's going to be bought from the same guy that you were talking shit about. And I take great pride in the fact that I know that day is going to come.
I heard someone talking about that. It's almost just like keep the hate coming.
Keep it coming. It's fuel, man. And I think, again, it comes back to that mindset. It's like regardless of all the other stuff that's going on, you got this dude talking smack about you. He hasn't done what you've done. This is the perfect innocence to bring up the quote. I take advice from people who have what I have and have done what I want to do. Everything else is noise.
I'm trying to find, I wrote that. Yeah, if you're surrounded by people who aren't where you are or where you want to be in life, don't take their advice on how to get there.
Dude, it's the banger. You are what you eat and you are who you hang with. And I think that like that's an interesting concept because food, yes, usually you and I sit down and enjoy a steak and some eggs.
We need to do more of it.
Maybe some pickles. Yeah.
Tomorrow.
But again, it's like you and I sit down for some steak and some eggs and some pickles and we share these thoughts. This is food as well. There's different nourishment. I'm now proud that the people that text me are people that are doing things themselves. It's you. Sending me your analytics. I love that shit. Send it to me. It'll be my mate. Just launched a breathwork app. He's killing it. He's running an event. Bang, I'll sponsor you. It's all these people that are like, they hit you up because they know if they come to your phone, they're going to get a little bit of extra gas to keep fucking going because they know that you're not quitting. And you develop this like vehicle, which is just a we don't quit vehicle. And people jump on it or they look at it and they're like, not for me. And it's fine if it's not for them because they wouldn't last on the vehicle anyway.
What's that part of yourself? So if I'm sending you analytics, what excites you?
I'm just like, yes, bro.
No, but is there something that you could send to me to G you up, or you're just on that train already?
Dude, seeing your analytics, see, this is what happens after a bit of time in the game. It's not, I don't need you to send me, like, I would rather you send me something of you killing it. This is why I think it's cooked. Like, to a regular person, if you sent them your analytics,
Yeah, they wouldn't have. Yeah.
they're not only they're not going about YouTube, but it might make them feel insufficient.
Yeah.
But I have a sufficiency mindset. So you send me your analytics, I go, yes, dude, keep hitting the sweet spot. And as I said, I see you working till late at night. I hear tinkering away and hey guys, they're doing Japanese Wagyu. Bro, it inspires me because it's this feeling of relentless energy that I'm not stopping. That I'm finding the sweet spot. And I find inspiration like that for our brand everywhere. And whether it's your analytics or, as I said, it's my mate's breath. I said to him, run an in-person event. Breathwork is such a humanizing thing. You're an amazing human. Humanize it. He puts together an event. It's going to be epic. It's all these little things of people finding their alignment that energizes me.
I think we need to, that's an interesting topic as well, that human connection piece. With everything and where the world's going, like that is the one thing that you just won't be able to replace.
Yeah.
Face-to-face interaction. So I'm thinking about that sort of stuff, and hopefully I get to the point where I will get to the point where I could command having like a big in-person event potentially down the line when I've got people helping me.
Why not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this is again, like, dude, the entrepreneur or like the creator mindset, you have it. I have it. The people that we like have it. You'll get hit with ideas all the time. There is an infinite number of things that you can do. And you're better off just writing them down and going, I need to find out what I'm sweet spotting. For us, it's H2. H2 is a beast. Sells day in, day out. It's what we're known for. And this creates room for, sponsoring sauna events, sponsoring biohacking events, all these like charitable pieces and cool stuff integrating with the community is all made by pushing one thing forward. For you, it's more than likely your YouTube. For the longest time you've done short form. I think that YouTube will be what explodes you. I think maybe we'll look back at this podcast and be like, this was the week, the turning point that the steak lad realized that his YouTube was what was going to catapult him forward.
Oh, I was always obsessed. It's just I didn't.
Again, the ego will tell you
Yeah.
to respond in a way like that where no one's doubting your obsession.
Yeah.
The obsession is very clear, but now we know what is a sweet spot for you, and it seems to be YouTube. And again, I think that we will look back on this. You will have 1 million subs and you'll be like, holy shit, I should have done, again, you could have the insufficiency mindset, which is I could have done that, but it's the more that I did that, the more that I realized it worked for me, the more that we looked back and went, wow, it was that exact week, that exact podcast that I realized YouTube was a beast. But it's not my business. It's not my brand. It's up to you to hit it that way,
I, hand on my heart, that's why I have been, like, even to do one a week, like, is acknowledgement of the beast. Like, I genuinely knew that YouTube was the key.
You got to start somewhere.
But then even doing one a week is like pretty, because the editing time is like, because I haven't even started the edit for tomorrow. Like, I'm going to have to spend,
all I can say is, dude,
today. I'm going to do it.
Crack into some H2 and some blue, bro, and you'll shave the time down.
Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Elvis Presley was told he couldn't sing by his vocal coach. Walt Disney was fired by his local newspaper for lacking imagination. Oprah Winfrey was told she was unfit for TV because she was too emotional. Albert Einstein was labelled a slow learner by his teachers at school. Just because others don't see your potential doesn't mean it's not there. Success is the only revenge. Go and prove them wrong.
And that's why we're here right now. Like, I can tell, you want me to tell some stories? I can tell some stories. So before all of this, don't get me wrong, I've always had a huge personal interest in longevity, in well-being, human optimization. Like the Oura Ring, I had a Gen 1 Oura Ring, and I remember I was so young, I bought the Gen 1 Oura Ring. It was a birthday present from my grandpa, and I sent him the link. I would have been like 17. And he goes like, what the fuck is this? Well, he didn't say it like that, but it was And it was like, dude, oh, it's a ring that tracks heart rate variability, sleep timing, all the things. It can help improve my health. He goes, wow, do these things like this exist? And back then I was the only one, only one I ever walked around and saw with an Aura ring. Now you get an Aura ring when you sign up for a wellness club. So my whole thing is I've been good at spotting things ahead of the crowd. And it's because I don't listen to the noise and I don't just go with trends. I'm not wearing the same fur coat as the guy next to me. I wear the coat that I want to wear, incidentally.
All right, a good one.
Now people wear our coat, However, so my background was buying. Again, misaligned. I don't give a shit about concrete, fiber cement, or any of these things. But I learned some key components, especially working with a big brand. What does a big brand look like? I then got poached from there. They wanted me because she said word for word, I just want someone that's going to go and get it. And I sat in the interview and I told her, I'm the one that will go and get it. And I was there for a maternity contract. And every single time that I would come to management with a solution that I had gone and got, whether it was red light masks, not a single other one in the market yet, whether it was having, incidentally, they sell things that remove hair. I was selling them things that could help regrow hair, right? Tablets and things like that. What makes more sense than helping something grow quicker when you're the one that sells something that cuts it, right? Then all these things that I was too far ahead and constantly found red tape. I hate red tape. In Healer, there is no red tape. If Ben wants to do something, we fucking do it. There is no limit to experimentation because you don't know what that sweet spot could be. I worked for that business. It was red tape galore. I fucking hate red tape. I left that business and went to a supplier of theirs, one of the biggest wellness tech brands in the world. They do close to 700 million in massage guns. Their mindset here was high-low selling, devalued the brand, ended up going too wide, ended up everywhere. Don't get me wrong, they have some of their tech is amazing, but across the board, I felt like their mindset here was dated. The way that they were selling things was dated. The way they were managing people was dated. It was becoming a meat grinder, right? Probably after this, we'll just blur out the brands I was working for. But then I was like, I need to get away from this. I need to get away from the red tape. I need to get away from this feeling of this is not how I would run a business and just do it myself. I know how much money I'm making for these people. I know the opportunities that they're leaving on the table because they have dated mindsets, because they're doubting something because it's not what they did in the 90s. That crusty shit, keep it away. Now, Healer does things that are innovative. We have AI integrated in so many portions of our business. We have a product that's patented, that's used in clinical studies. We're at every cutting edge place that you can get. And it's about finding the sweet spot.
I listened to a podcast the other day and I ended up indirectly doing a LinkedIn post about it. And it sort of touched on what you said before. And I listened to a conversation with Gavin Newsom, who was essentially, he was the governor of California, or he's the governor of California, and he introduced a failure award. So there was an employee that came to him with something to try and solve something, and it ended up not working, but he ended up awarding him because he tried to solve the problem. And it became like a failure award.
Yeah. Look, I think that the reality is in Australia especially, there's awards for fucking everything, you know?
Yeah.
Participation awards for everything. And it kind of, in a sense, like, don't get me wrong, I think people should participate. They need to find how to break things. They need to learn how to try. But this version that you get a pat on the back or you get a prize every time you try, it's wrong. Like that's my honest view.
I was raising that to see if you thought that was a good idea.
I think that there's nothing more ridiculous than giving someone an award just for doing what the bare minimum is. But I mean, again, it comes back to literal dopamine chemistry. It's the same way. If you tell somebody that you've done something when you haven't done it yet, your body releases the same neurotransmitters that tell you you've done it. So it literally your body is being rewarded for you not doing something, but you tell someone you've done it, your body thinks, oh, I've done it. It's not that. And you end up further and further away from actually doing that thing. So I think it's cooked. And I've never been a fan of participation medals or any of that shit, because I think that the standard for ourselves needs to be quite high. I understand first, second, third, at the end of the day, you get a third ribbon, all you're thinking about is, damn, why did I get green? I want blue,
When you love something deeply, it will bring out a little madness in you. The person, the vision, the art, the idea, the business, the dream. It's the restless pull that keeps us up late and wakes us up early. It's completely irrational and totally necessary. Chaotic order, relentless patience. Beautiful obsession. It's the kind of love that breaks you and builds you at the same time. A madness that feels like you're always losing and always winning. Somehow it takes all you have and pays you back everything.
Yeah. I mean, that quote's almost good enough to kind of wrap this up. It almost encompasses everything we've spoken about. Speaks about consistency, speaks about love, speaks about obsession, speaks about doing the hard things, speaks about just keeping on going.
Where do you see yourself in a few years?
Just
on the topic of looking back on things, I'll have 1 million subs, I reckon.
Yeah, I don't really, like the last time that we kind of, we'll call it a soft launch one of these. Yeah. We spoke a lot about numbers, and I thought about it later. And I was like, for a guy who prides himself so much on why speak about what? I think that the answer to that question is who I will be and who I will become is simply, again, what we just spoke about over and over again. It's I will continue to find the multipliers, and I will become a better leader. I'll become a better businessman. I'll become a better friend. And the version of me in 5 years is going to be a monster, compared to the way I see myself now. And the lessons that I think I'll learn along that way are going to be what creates that.
What do you mean by monster?
Just so different to norm. There is no Ollie Gale 2.0. And even if you did want to be like me, you're not going to be able to go through the stuff that I've been through. And, 5 years, 10 years from now, I think that, as I said, 5 years from now, I think there's going to be H2 in everybody's house. They're going to know where it came from, and they're going to know who created it. And I can't fucking wait for that day.
What about me?
Again, he found the sweet spot. As I said, I wake up every day and I go, this guy's going to find the sweet spot. Because you're just so relentless in the long grass, bro. You tee something off in the grass, you're going and finding that ball, you're not redropping. I just think that you're going to continuously find the sweet spot. And I mean, I would love to see you do a collab with Max the Meat Guy.
What's happening?
I think he would be lucky to get you on, especially this early.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd love to have a potty with him as well. I dropped to him to have a podcast as well, just to get
warm it up.
Gets to warm it up.
Yeah, well, hopefully you cook him a steak, because I didn't get shit, but
Topic of ending it up, and I asked you about the question of mortality and everything, and I can't help but bring it up because a lot of people seem to talk about it these days, about like the 80-year-old self quote. So I thought I'd read one out. Your 80-year-old self should fucking terrify you, not because they are old and weak, but because they are the judge, the jury, and the executioner of your life. One day they will look back on everything you did and everything you did not. Where you wasted time, where you hid, where you lowered the bar, not because you wanted less, but because you were scared to want more. They will remember you sitting on the edge of everything you could be, scrolling, numbing, delaying, playing small. And they will replay this exact moment in their mind. The question is simple. What do you want them to remember?
I want them to remember that when I chose to start playing big, when I chose to step into alignment, when I chose to never give up, I never backflipped on that. And I think 80-year-old me is going to look back and be like, whoa, as I said, I see my life like a film. I remember things very clearly, very vividly. And I think that 80-year-old me is going to be very, very glad that young OG didn't stop.
It's like that Chris Williamson. If your life was a movie and it started now, what would you do?
Yeah. I think mine's more like Benjamin Button, but
how's that?
Doing it in reverse, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
old and crusty, and then by the end, oh man, I'm gonna be feeling young again.
I heard a question the other day. It was like, are your actions in the past 24 hours representation of where you want to be in the future? And it's like, you should ask that every day. Every day, are you working towards a future version of yourself every day?
Yeah, they say tomorrow's won or lost yesterday. Like you do need to do that. So
I think you've done it in a good way. Like I said, so much going on, and your mindset or your behaviors are not representative of the amount of stuff going on in your life.
yeah, again, you got to learn to love the pummeling, man. If that's one message, I mean, if anyone's even going to pick this up and watch it, I'm sure that it will. But it's learn to love the pummeling and don't quit. I see so many people start and stop. I see so many people fold to all this negativity. Use that shit as fuel and just keep going.
Good way to earn it, man. Appreciate your time.
Beautiful.
So good. Do that again. That was good. That was way better, yeah?
That was a banger.
Yeah?
Yeah.